Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game number 3 of this best of 3. I'm really excited to see how this is going to go down because game 1 Yu-Gi-Oh looked to be on top of HuK so well, and then game number 2, well, HuK just came back fighting, had a little iffy moment in the middle, but then was just like, yeah, do you know what, I want this game, I want to win it, and he did. Neoplanet S is going to be the host of game number 3, the ace game, and who is going to win? Well, in the top right position, spawning as the red Zerg player, we have Yu-Gi-Oh! And his opponent in the bottom left, the blue Protoss, the green Protoss, it is HuK. Now, a little unknown fact for many of you. While I might sound completely stupid saying the blue Protoss player, I'm actually colorblind. Like, this is a true fact. Admittedly not between green and blue, but it does affect that slightly. It's green-blue colorblindness that causes me to not be able to see pink and grey particularly well. But anyway, HuK up to sneaky shenanigans again. What is he gonna do? He's got a pylon up here. This is his first pylon. It's proxy 2 game in the main. Remember in game number 1? YugiOh, he was really worried about this. He scouted, he pulled his drone to come and check up to the edge of his base. He even scouted around here, he scouted everywhere around that map on Belshire. But this game, the game that HuK is doing it, he is not going to go and check. And oh my goodness, is it even going to be hatched first? We'll see in a minute. Hopefully not for Yu-Gi-Oh's sake, because otherwise this is going to be a very, very fast game. Number 3, the spawning pool comes down. Does it see it? It doesn't. That was so close, the drone nearly saw, and now the drone will see. 2 gates are on their way up. Drones instantly getting pulled to try and deal with this. And this now should be able to be dealt with because the drones will be able to pick off that pylon, and HuK is now going to be monumentally behind because he's got no way to get that pylon back up, and that is his first pylon. He doesn't have another one placed yet. He's about to place another one back at his main, but this is putting him massively, massively behind. Yes, the spawning pool's coming out. Yes, there's some lost mining time, but all in all, HuK is now supply blocked at 10 supply. That's not too good. His gateway, massively late. Yu-Gi-Oh! Did the right thing by checking their new HuK might be up to some sneaky shenanigans, and as a result, Yu-Gi-Oh! Gets a big early lead. If a build like a proxy 2 gate doesn't go the way you expect it to, which is winning you the game, you get massively far behind. That was a huge command by HuK, who does have the next pylon trying to come up, and he's just busy trying to get as many units as possible. Yu-Gi-Oh, knowing that there might be a follow-up to this, gets 8 Zerglings out. He's going to try and apply the pain back to HuK, knowing that he may not be able to get a Zealot out in time, and the Zerglings could deal a huge amount of damage. The Overlord coming in says, oh, that's your only gateway? I guess it's not quite done yet. My Zerglings are already out on the field. They're already making their way forward. You better be saving Chrono Boosts up for that Zealot, because otherwise, you're going to have Probe Micro like a beast. The second gas coming down here for HuK. I don't know if he's expecting this. Meanwhile, only the 8 Zerglings coming. Behind this, YugiOh taking his natural base, so he's not going all in. He is just going to go and give HuK a taste of his own medicine. HuK, start the Zealot. You've got 100 minutes. Start the Zealot. Started. He started. That's okay. Chrono boosted. Now chrono boosted quickly, HuK. You've got to do it. The Zerglings can just start working down at the gateway. They could have gone for the pylon as well, but opting to try and pick off the gateway first. The probes are going to have to get pulled. Is the micro from Yu-Gi-Oh going to be enough? A quick surround by the probes. HuK with top 3 unit control is trying to do it. There's still all of these Zerglings up though. The probes are going to try and deal some more damage. The Zealot is going to come out, and just by pulling those probes, only a few may die. The Zealot is also on its way out, but still the Zerglings are being a bit of a nuisance. There are 6 Zerglings remaining from the original 8. Probes still losing mining time for HuK though, which he cannot afford right now. The Zealot though should be able to hold this off. So those 8 Lings didn't do as much damage as they could have done, but they are still out. Only 2 workers have been killed so far. The gateway still taking a bit more damage. HuK having to micro like mad to make sure that the very few units he's got on the field can deal with these Zerglings. And we have, with the Mothership Core, should be able to push that back now. So HuK actually not losing too much there. Yu-Gi-Oh would have wanted to do a huge amount more with 6 Lings up against pretty much nothing, but opting for the gateway meant that actually he couldn't do much. He did very little damage. 2 workers killed does not warrant getting 8 Zerglings down, and that actually means HuK is level in the worker count, which is very, very good for HuK considering his bad opening, but his tech is still a bit delayed. Yu-Gi-Oh, remember, getting up his gas now. He's still going to be pumping out a lot of drones. He is still ahead in this game, regardless of that push, not doing too much. If you fail a proxy 2 gate, you're always going to end up in a bad spot. The second gate coming up now for HuK as well as a Forge. He's walling in his main, so he's not trying to take his natural yet, knowing the more pressure could be on its way forward, but it's only Zerglings, not enough to be terrifying, and there is, of course, a sentry there. Good force field means that the Zerglings are going to have to engage the Zealot, but a small gap in the wall means 2 Lings sneaky their way past 4 probes in a single gas geyser. Not ideal there, HuK. I hope he does notice that pretty quickly, but most of his attention likely to be trying to make sure these Zerglings don't pick off the odd probable. So, and actually the rally point just set wrong here for HuK on the gas, and he's not noticed yet. This is really a problem for HuK because it's resulting in him losing a lot of mineral mining. He's trying to retake his firstly take his natural. Now 6 probes here on that gas. This is nothing short of a mistake. He does now realise and pulls one out, but that was still a good sort of 30-40 in-game seconds where he was mining incredibly inefficiently from that gas geyser. So, YugiOh, he's still in an okay spot. He's getting the Spore Caller down. Smart move, because when that came down, he didn't know if there was a Dark Shrine trying to come out. And if behind Dark Shrine is the mantra of Protoss, so this is just smart play by YugiOh there, making sure he's okay. Going to try and force back this Mothership Core, getting more creep tumors down. The Queen, not going to be able to do much else with that Mothership Core as it sneaks away past the gold bases. But YugiOh getting down the Rotron, getting down his lair too. Is he going to be all-inning? Well, no third base, yes, suggested yes he may, but also he doesn't have to rush that third base because this base isn't going to be down until like nearly 9 minutes. That's incredibly late for HuK, and basically YugiOh doesn't have to panic. He's ahead in the work account 48 to 27. He knows that HuK doesn't have much tech. His upgrades are behind. That, of course, going to go up to 4 gates plus the Robo. But this is all HuK just trying to stay alive at the moment. The Phoenix gets taken out. Admittedly, it was a hallucinated one, but the Scout did get some information for HuK there. He saw the lair. And he also saw the Rotron being made. Didn't see the infestation pits. So once more, we're going to be getting the swarm host coming down from YugiOh. And HuK just desperately trying to stay in this game. This is, of course, the last game of this series. Whoever wins it will win the series. And that is the all-important thing. Now, of course, more gateways are just finishing up. This takes us up to 4 gates with the 5th and 6th gates there at the front of the natural. An observer is already, one observer is out. A second one on its way down. And yeah, to be honest, Hatchery, third base coming. Zerglings still poking and prodding. This is just YugiOh trying to stay on top of the Protoss opponent. Some force fields there. 3 force fields for 3 Zerglings. Yeah, did save the gateway most likely, but still, it's energy just being spent for not too much, and that is what YugiOh wants to do. He wants to keep the sentry energy low. He wants to make sure that he gets out those swarm hosts as quickly as possible, gets out the corruptors, ready to deal some more damage to any colossi that may be on their way. And of course, those colossi are on their way, and that is why the robotics bay is coming down, because you need those colossi out. If your opponent's gone swarm host game 1 and 2, you're probably going to expect it in game number 3, especially after you've seen the Rotron on its way. Notably, HuK didn't scout that the infestation pit was down, but he still is probably pretty certain of what's going to be happening. The Zerglings do try and push their way through, but force fields will keep that up. The gateway probably could have been taken down because there's only 4 sentries there. Not much DPS against that many Lings, but ultimately just want to keep this going. I love this from YugiOh, using creep spread from the Overlord to place creep tumors further forward. Such a pro move there, and the Overlord going to move forward even further. And yeah, this is boss mode in terms of creep spreading. It's so effective to do. It allows you to spread creep at the absolute optimum rate, and that's why it's pretty cool to see. And of course, by putting this creep forward too, you can spread the creep tumor at the absolute furthest point as well, at the earliest point possible. So definitely YugiOh going as boss as possible. And yeah, he's got his third base up. He's starting to get out some of those swarm hosts 7 on their way, but HuK variating from game 1 and 2, getting up the double Stargate here. Going to be trying to deal with these swarm hosts in a slightly different way, but remember, a good number of corruptors already on their way out, and HuK seeing those swarm hosts there, just GG's out. So he went for the risk with the proxy 2 gate, and it didn't pay off for him, and therefore YugiOh will take the series 2-1. Now, if you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games up daily, so I hope to see each and every one of you tomorrow for yet another new cast. I'm Madals, thanks for watching, and bye for now.